Alright, this video will be updating the Omniheroes unit tier list for Season 6. So two things have changed. One is that there are new heroes, and two is they are buffing some existing heroes. And they have gave us the list of all the detailed updates. So I think they really should give us this before the new season because I certainly missed some. One major example is they buffed the speed of Empress Wu. So now that her speed went from 110 to 135, this make her the fastest unit in the game now. And well, she's the fastest without for all the heroes without skin. But if Arishta and Serafina, if they have skin, they will be faster than her. But if Empress Wu also got the skin from Foggy Colosseum, she will still be the fastest, and her speed will be 140. Yeah, I think the skin is +5 speed, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so the skin also give her +5 speed. And yeah, so this make her a lot better. So, but she's already in the SS tier, and so I can't give her another tier because like there's already too many S tiers. So yeah, she's gonna stay where she is. But I guess I can move her like before Cleopatra. Okay, I think she's better than Dahlia right now. Especially there's another thing. So for her exclusive room, now her exclusive room is available in the shop, like in the Celestial shop. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, this you can get heroes from uh, like you can get all the hero except the hero of current season. So right now the exclusive room for Hades and Empress Wu as well as Aphrodite, they are all available. And her exclusive room is actually really strong because it allows her to at legendary level especially allow her to apply phantom illusion on enemies for 2 rounds whenever she takes action. So like on round one, she will have a 50% chance to like just charm one enemy, and that enemy I already tested this will take damage for your team. So her ultimate says when she apply phantom illusion, the enemies that she's temporarily recruiting to your team will apply the protect effect. So basically, like when your team takes damage, it will be applied to the charmed enemy instead. And when the charmed enemy dies, like she gets to charm another enemy when she casts her ultimate. And this, like, this is they call this protect effect, will also apply to the enemy charmed by her exclusive room, which actually align with the wording surprisingly, because it says each target affected by phantom illusion from Wu Zetian grant all allies protect effect. So yeah, her exclusive room is also really good, and so yeah, that makes her like on the make her a lot better. But she's already in the top tier. And speaking of exclusive room, although Hades didn't get buffed, his exclusive is actually way better than expected. So there's a video posted by Tabula Rasa that is showcasing that if you get Hades exclusive room to legendary tier, which I haven't, but I saw his video, he will soul devour an enemy every round because so when he soul devour an enemy like every like after 4 rounds he will like permanently remove that enemy and he can apply soul devour effect again, but his exclusive room reduces this effect to 2 rounds. So 2 rounds still sounds like a lot, but it's every round essentially, because how they count 2 rounds is they count the round that he's the he's applying the Soul Devourer effect, and he's also counting the second round before he takes action. So basically, what happened is if you have Hades' exclusive room at legendary, he will Soul Devour one enemy every time he takes action until there's only one enemy left. Then he cannot apply Soul Devour, but you are probably already winning. So yeah, Hades is really strong if you have his exclusive room. So yeah, considering he's performed pretty well without exclusive room, I will also be moving him to the SS tier along with all the top heroes. So yeah, let's go through the buff list. So yeah, it takes some time to load for, like, I guess my stimulator is a bit slow. Yeah, first they buffed Dulahan again, so they just increased his damage. So this is pretty good, but I don't think it will move Dulahan to above 1 tier, or will it? Yeah, maybe it will move him to a tier above, because like he's the in the Monarch Mystifier team, he's a main damage dealer, and like increasing his damage will be impactful. And since his ability already applying corrode, yeah, I think this will be impactful. And you are usually duplicating Dulahan's ultimate. And yeah, so Dulahan also has a skin that I don't have because it's like Halloween exclusive. Like maybe this Halloween it will came back, and so if you have Dulahan's skin, you can build a interesting Mystifier team that looks like this. Yeah, I saw another player did this. I forgot who. But so basically, they are in team two. Let's do it in team two then. So we have Cleopatra, Astrid, and yeah, and all the Monarch heroes. So basically, your Cleopatra will be she will have 126 speed, and your Dulahan with the skin will have 125 speed, and that means these two, like Cleopatra will cast ultimate first, and Dulahan will cast ultimate, and the ultimate will be duplicated, and that will make your team essentially act before the enemy Eudora, and that's really important because the one team that uh, Monarch Mystifier struggle with is Eudora, because Eudora has the multi-instance damage, and that can like bypass the Monarch's effect of like it can take single instance damage exceeding 30%. And Eudora is like, yeah, but my point is I do damage in multiple instances. So this can make this Monarch Mystifier team faster than Eudora, and that will be and if you can kill their Eudora before they take action, and you can win. So this is an interesting way to build Monarch Mystifier. Obviously, we'll need Cleopatra, and Cleopatra is useful elsewhere, but this is something you can do. And yeah, Cleopatra. So yeah, this. So I think Dulahan is. I think he will move up 1 tier. Yeah, I'll do that. And yeah, let's go through the list. So uh, so the next hero that got buffed is Bastet. And I think this can move her up as well because she got buff before, and this buff uh Wait. They increase their basic attack damage as well, but we can't find it. So for Dulahan, there's no way we can see how much basic damage he did. But for Bastet, I think we can. Oh yeah, so they buff her basic attack, and they also buff her ultimate damage. And yeah, they make the damage quite high. So her damage is actually higher than Dulahan. And too bad she's not a monarch. But the protector synergy, they are adding a lot of those. Like the new hero, Gaia, is a protector, and this hero, the non-royal hero from last season, he's pretty good, by the way, is also a protector. So they are also like adding more good heroes to the protector synergy. So this might increase her one tier as well. Yeah, I'll do that. And next is, let me see, is heroes in Valiantors. And yeah, they buffed Victoria and Macaria, the two monarch hero in Valiantor. And these buffs are, I think, not that impactful, but I think it will also move them up one tier. So Macaria, I will move her to C tier. And for Victoria, so here's the thing about Victoria. Victoria is really good if you have her legendary exclusive room, because she will apply bind to 2 random enemies every round. But if she doesn't have the exclusive room, she's really mediocre. And the freeze effect she get isn't that good. So a lot of heroes get a freeze effect. So freeze is basically stun, but it's stackable. So yeah, where's Victoria? Yeah, so the freeze effect is basically, well, it doesn't say it here, but when Victoria deal damage, there's a 33% chance to apply freeze for 1 round. When freeze is applied, the duration can when freeze is reapplied, the duration can stack. So it's a stackable crowd control effect. But problem is, I think, since her damage is like front row only and her second damage is single target, this is not that impactful. So she will only be move up one tier. Actually, no, I think she need to stay where she is, because I don't think this is very impactful since it has a probability. There's only 33% chance, and she doesn't apply it to many targets. So I think she is still staying there. But there are other heroes who got the freeze effect, and that's a lot better. Oh yeah, it's Katrina. Yeah. So Katrina, like after dealing damage, there's a 30% chance to apply freeze for 1 round. And for Katrina, I will move her up because it's impactful for her, because the reason is not only that she deals AoE damage, her ultimate damage, she's dealing damage to all enemies. Another thing is her ultimate is actually multiple instant. There's 2 instances. So if her ultimate critical strike, then she will deal additional 50% 50% damage. So basically, there's another instance. So if she didn't apply the freeze from round 1, then she can apply it again. She has she get another chance to roll the dice and see if she can apply freeze. And if she, like, you get really lucky and the freeze effect will extend to 2 rounds, and that could be really good. So yeah, Katrina, it's very impactful. Yeah, but actually, she's not that. I just realized she's not. It's not impactful. I'm gonna put her back. So no, the reason is I realized uh, Katrina is one of the slower heroes. So since the freeze only lasts for 1 round, and for the stun effect, it's usually how the duration is counted. Is if if Katrina freeze an enemy and the round end, then the enemy will be unfreeze. So this made me think that the freeze effect, although it sounds really cool that she can apply an AoE and that will freeze all enemy, but since she's usually the last person to act in a battle, then that means the freeze won't be that impactful. Although the skin will, if you have her skin, it will make her better because it increased her speed by 5. But even then, she's only 100 speed, and that's really slow in today's Omni-Hero game. So yeah, I'm gonna put her back. It's not impactful. Yeah, just the same way like Helena's isn't that good in late game because her speed is really slow. And the good thing about her is that her stun is uh, 2 rounds by default. But the problem is since she's pretty slow, it's only 1 round because if she's the last person to act, then after she stun and all the enemies, then the round will end and it will move to next round. So she's basically only stunning enemy for 1 round, despite it's 2 round. Yeah. So if a unit is slow, the the 2 round stun will means 1 round, and the 1 round stun will mean nothing. And this is another reason why uh, Halos Helios is really bad because he can stun a single target, which is already not very impactful, and the stun only lasts for 1 round, and Talos is really slow. Helios is really slow, and it's it doesn't mean anything. So Helios is basically a trade bot. That's why he's in E tier. Yeah. So yeah, I just realized the Katrina change isn't. It sounds really cool, but it's not very impactful. So there's Katrina, and there's the Wukong buff. So I think the Wukong buff will make him a bit better because Wukong got the same buff as Makaria. It's like whenever they take damage, there's a 33% chance to negate the damage. So it's a good buff because it increases Wukong's survivability, but it won't swing it too hard that move him to S plus tier. So yeah, Wukong is gonna stay there. And I think I'm gonna move Gloria to A tier because uh when Gloria came out, the she provides some very a rare thing, which is she grants your team max HP buff, so that significantly increase the survivability of Glorian team. But the problem is right now there are a lot of other ways you can gain HP, and this becomes less relevant. So she's just gonna be in A tier, and her effect of reducing damage to frontline allies is actually a bit awkward because you want for the unit you want to protect, you want them to be in backline so that they don't get auto attack. But this effect is a bit awkward because now you don't know if you should put the unit you want to protect in frontline or backline. And yeah, so So Gloria, I'm gonna move her down to A tier. And another hero that got buff. Let's see, where are we? Why did this take so long to load? I think this game's like code has some issue that causing it to load slowly. And yeah, they buffed the Navi. But this buff isn't I think I like this buff a lot despite the fact that like Navi is a pretty strong hero. She don't need buff. But they're buffing the part her ultimate and active damage. So wait, they also hang on. They buffed her basic attack damage, didn't they? Okay, I don't like this buff now. Oh, so yeah, so for all the hero they buff their skill 1, skill 2, and their basic attack. So they buffed Navi's basic attack to 1.5 times. Yeah, this is okay. So this buff is bigger than I think. So basically, Navi has ability that when Navi deals damage to enemy, she has a 50% chance to follow up with 4 consecutive basic attack on enemy. This is a toxic part about her. And since they are buffing the basic attack, like this passive effect is also getting better. So she will one shot enemy more. And yeah, this make Navi a lot better. But I think she's gonna stay here because before I before they buff Navi, I'm actually considering maybe Navi should be in S tier, not the S plus tier. But now since they buff her, she can stay where she is. And yeah, so and again the other Gloria hero is Empress Wu, and we already talked about her. Yeah, she's really good, especially with the exclusive room. And that's for the Glorian heroes. Oh, so they also give Empress Wu the ability to negate damage, like the 33% chance to negate damage. So yeah, so that make her a little bit better than before. But that, like I said, I think she's already good. So I don't know why they are buffing her, to be honest. I guess they want the new hero to be good so that people buy them. Yeah. So Avengers they are buffing Althea again. Again, I don't know why, but I can't. So Althea they gave her the ability that when after dealing active damage, there's a 33% chance to apply freeze for 1 round. And yeah, freeze is the stackable stun. So this is kind of like I don't know why because Althea is already pretty good. She's essential in the Avengers team, but I can't move her to SS tier because she's still pretty niche hero. Like she's very important in Avengers, but that's it. She's not that useful outside of Avengers, so I think she's gonna stay in S plus tier. And Narissa also got buff so that whenever uh, she takes damage, there's a 33% chance to negate the damage. So this is also pretty good for Narissa because Narissa is the type of hero who want to survive, and so she's an Avenger, but she doesn't want to die. She want to stay alive and witness the other unit dying, and so that she can spam her ultimate. So this is pretty good for her. But I don't think this will make her to S plus tier. Mostly because if you want to get Narissa, might as well get Aphrodite because Aphrodite is a way better version of Narissa. Because like yeah, her she doesn't have a limit on casting ultimate when witnessing a unit dying. And yeah, so but I think I can make her like like higher in the S tier. Yeah. So moving on, I think there's only Doomstaer synergy left. Yeah, so Doomstaer Madeline got buffed a little bit, so her damage got buffed. But I think Doomstayer is less about the damage from their skill and more about how they reflect damage. But I guess I can still move her up a little bit. Yeah. So I think Narissa is better than Jenna. No, she's not better than Jenna. Jenna is doing a unique thing that's summoning the strangers. So yeah. And Madeline is pretty good because she summons the dragons, and the dragons can pop Holy Shield. And yeah, and they are also buffing Sylvan. So now this hero, the Centaur, that's Sylvan, her damage is actually super high. If her damage isn't dodged or blocked by Holy Shield, she will one-shot enemies. But the problem is her damage will be blocked by Holy Shield or dodged, or it one shot an Avengers and the Avengers revive, because there's so many ways to like cheating in this game. So like the one big spell that deals a lot of damage doesn't do much. So yeah, Sylvan is staying where she is now. The buff is gonna save her. So, oh, another unit that I want to move down is actually Lysandra. So, Lysandra, she was really good. I mean, she was okay in the previous season because she had the ability to convert speed into crit damage. So, like, every one increase in Lysandra's speed additionally increase her own crit damage by 3% and allies' crit damage by 1%. And the seasonal ethereal synergy used to increase speed, but now there's no way to increase speed. Yeah, I think I look over all the synergy, the seasonal stuff, and nothing increased speed in PvP. So that means she's a lot less useful throughout the game. There are still ways to increase speed in PvE, like in using the artifacts. So there are artifacts that can increase speed, but those are all PvE artifacts. And in this kind of game mode, there's usually no place for Lysandra because you will need some like broken units like Dahlia and or Elmer, like those type of units. Like usually we won't have slot to fit Lysandra. So yeah, Lysandra got moved down as well. Also, another reason she's getting worse is because the other ethereal units are getting better. Like Katrina got buff a little, and there's the 11 is getting buff like many times, and now we have Wukong, and the new ethereal hero is also really good. Okay, that's it for the old heroes that require updates. And now we can move on to the new heroes. So first we have Gaia. So Gaia has an ability that allows her to increase the speed of your team. Well, actually, it's like decreasing the speed of all enemies by 30. So this basically means that now your team will act before the enemy teams. So because 30 speed is a lot. Like even if the enemy has the fastest hero like Empress Wu right now, like her speed will get reduced to 105. So a lot of your units will still be faster than her. So and for the slower heroes, like their speed will be reduced below 100, and like you can't be really fast. So it allows your team to act before the enemy team. So this is more useful in PvP than in PvE, because in the PvE stages, the enemies are usually already slower than you. So yeah, let's check out these stages. Yeah, so the enemy, all their units, they are slower than mine. So my units are already faster than them, and Gaia isn't gonna be that useful here. So she's mainly a PvP hero, and you need to get her to 7-star at least to unlock the effect of increasing speed. And other than this, she will grant your team damage boosts based on the your units the number of corrode applied by your allies. So this is like a pretty high number, because at max stack you get 1000% damage boost, and that's pretty good. But you actually can't get corrode to 100 stack, so it will be 70 uh 750% damage boost, which is still pretty good. So yeah, so that's her utility. And her ability damage is actually extremely low, surprisingly. Like the damage is 200% magic damage to 3 random enemies. And yeah, that's really low if you compare to some normal heroes, like for example, Bastet. Yeah, her damage is 500 magic damage to all enemies, and the corrode is like applying 3 stack of corrode, and the damage can increase based on the number of corrode stack. So yeah, so don't expect Gaia to deal a lot of damage herself. So she's mostly a support, despite like her role is called mage. So yeah, the role in this game doesn't say anything, by the way. Yeah. So another thing is she might not be very good in the Monarch Mystifier team, because the way Monarch Mystifier team do thing is try to survive the enemy team's damage first, and then like deal damage to the enemy, because like Monarch provides really good survivability. But Gaia, maybe she can enable a Mystifier team that is focusing on act before the enemy team and burst them down, and that could be also interesting. Although it's kind of against the premise of Mystifier, because Mystifier is theoretically it should be a damage over time team, but if like since Gaia is making them really fast and she can increase your team's damage by a lot, maybe like there's a burst Mystifier team, and yeah, that would be interesting. So I think Gaia will be in S plus tier. So she's not as good as the previous hero, so, because she's not in SS tier. And I only recommend getting her you if in PvE you know that if you are faster than the opponent you will win. So let's say in PvP in arena you know that there's a player, when you attack them you win, and when they attack you they lose. You lose because whoever acts first win. Then if you get Gaia and they don't, then you will always win. And I think she's also really good with a lot of units with crowd control effect, like uh, Elmer, because Elmer's speed is actually not the highest. Eudora with skin will act before Elmer, but with Gaia, Elmer can taunt the Eudora before the Eudora gets to take action, and that won't stop her from casting her ultimate, because it's from her passive. It's from her exclusive room effect. So like but the Eudora will only cast one ultimate instead of two on round two. Yeah, and if and I think she pairs well with Hades too, because Hades devour an enemy when he takes action, and if he take action before the enemy, that means he might be able to devour the enemy before they take action. So that's a better crowd control effect. So like if Hades devoured the enemy when the enemy already took action, that's like less ideal than he devoured the enemy before they take action. So yeah, I think she's pretty good, but I don't think she's as good as Aphrodite and Empress Wu as well as Dahlia, because she she introduced the speed manipulation mechanic, but it doesn't break the game in my opinion. Yeah, but we'll have to see. And second, let's talk about the ethereal hero. I believe her name is Elisha. So Elisha is also really good, but I think she's only good with Eudora. So she's just like every other ethereal hero. She's only good with Eudora because so she grants your team the ability to stun, to freeze enemy when they land critical hit. And but the like it's not guaranteed. There's only 25% chance to apply freeze for one round, and so and it also accumulates. So in order for it to like apply freeze and accumulate, you need multiple instances of crit damage. And right now, the only unit that can reliably do that is Eudora. So yeah. So if you are like if you're allowed if you so if your account has like a Eudora that's at least 8 star and you have exclusive room, I recommend getting Elisha in that case because she make Eudora a lot better. And because when your unit crit, not only does that she can stun the enemy, she can also apply a lot of buffs to your team. Like yeah, so when ally land critical hit, all allies have their attack increased by 0.2 million and max HP increased by 50%, stack up to 50 times. So she will also buff up your team whenever you crit. Uh, so yeah, and she has another ability that when trigger free. Okay, so her second passive is increasing the odd of triggering for her first passive, and whenever ally take action, she will gain attack boost that stack up to 1000%. So yeah, if you have a Eudora with its exclusive room, then get Elisha. She's gonna help you a lot.
Next, we have Arthur. So I will be only putting Arthur in S tier. So he looks like he is doing a lot. Like he gains attack and max HP granted to your allies, and when he reflect damage, he deals additional damage that scale with his max HP, and he can reflect debuffs. But yeah, and the most this is what is talked about by a lot of people is like whenever an ally takes action, he gets he increased his defense and max HP, stacking up to really high. But he can't compete with the broken heroes, in my opinion. Like, what happened if like Empress Wu or Aphrodite just steal one of your units, like, and have that it takes damage for the enemy team? Like there's nothing he can do. He's too fair. Like just a normal hero with a lot of stats. So that's not gonna do anything. And another thing is he need to stack up, and that's pretty hard to do when because it requires you to like build a monarch team around him. But Arthur himself is not a monarch. Also, yeah, another thing is like when these effect triggers when their team deals reflect damage, but reflect damage is really hard to trigger. So you see the damage your units take when they take action. That's not reflect damage. This is the damage from the Doomstaer synergy. Reflect damage is the damage dealt when you take damage and did not die. Like you have to take the damage with your health, not holy shield, not dodge, not like even the normal shield. Like you have to like take damage with your pure health and then reflect the damage, and that count as dealing reflect damage, and only then will Arthur granting the buff. So it's really harder to trigger than it seems. So yeah, I will put Arthur in S tier. Yeah, but this is just my initial prediction. There could be a I can't imagine like in like maybe Foggy Coliseum or World Arena, there will be a team with Arthur that's really good. Like I won't be surprised if that happened, but I think it's not very likely. Yeah. And lastly, we have the non-D&D hero. I think this hero is really good. So yeah. So because what she does is each time Diao-Chan revives, she permanently increases the attack of all allies by 50%. And when she applies the bewitching effect, which is I think is the confuse effect, that she will also grant a buff to your team. And Avengers really want a buff hero because because Avengers they have a lot of ways to spam their ultimate. Like when Mavis is here. When Mavis dies, she can deal damage to all enemies, like equal to her ultimate damage. And when and Aphrodite and Narissa, they can also spam ultimate whenever they see another unit die. So, and if she's able to buff them up, and that will make Avenger team even stronger. Oh, by the way, so I think her ultimate ability and active skill, they both have the effect of applying confuse when she's dealing damage. So she can have revive like at least once using the Avenger synergy. And if you have the Phantom synergy, she might revive multiple times. And she is a enchanter, so that every time she deals damage, she can confuse depending on how you activate the synergy. And her ultimate and active ability also has the effect of confusing enemies when she deals damage. And if you have her exclusive room, she can apply the confuse whenever she takes action. So she can apply a lot of the confuse effect, and each time it triggers, it will buff up your whole team. So yeah, her buff is pretty reliable, like with all these ways to apply confuse adding up. So yeah, I'm putting her in as plus tier. And yeah, there you have it. This is the updated tier list of all the heroes in season 6 of Omniheroes. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching.